Good morning. I will go over dollar pairs, gold, pound pairs, and a couple yen pairs. This video will be more about Elliott Wave possibilities, the complexity of when possibilities expand and there are multiple counts to choose from. It will be more about that than about actual trades today, because I think in a few pairs the easier trades have passed and there may be a change coming. Since Yellen spoke, there's certainly been some swings and mayhem in a few pairs. So to start with, euro dollar from the February high, we've had a completed five-way pattern down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and an extension for wave 5. However, there is an alternate pattern of an ABC move from the Feb high in 5 swings, ABC, B wave correction, ABC again. In this type of situation, with a phase shift, the actual subsequent pattern will help decide which of these counts is valid, or rather not valid, but more probable. Also, we can look at other dollar pairs to help get clarity on this, and also at the DX itself. From the move so far, we've had an impulse up, and if there is a correction further, this trend line should support a continuation up as well. There's some doubt about the strength of the dollar. I know a lot of people are bullish on the dollar still, and it certainly could continue. There's a clearer pattern on the DX for a new high for 5 waves from last year. However, so many people are bullish, so many funds are bullish, including Hedgeye, who seem to be manic bullish. That doesn't mean anything if the pattern starts to change and there's some dollar weakness and people take up the more bearish idea on the dollar. So I have to see how this pattern develops. I don't have a trade as yet. I have some inclination to the ABC pattern. The issue being that this move from January low to 3 waves, 3 overall into February. So see how this develops now. If there is a retracement of this move today and a buy opportunity, I will probably take it. There was one this morning, actually. It's an impulse. If it continues to expand from here, it could already be in wave 3 of an advance. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. See how that develops. The issue is that both of these counts are valid, in my opinion. They're both legitimate. Either one can become reality at this point. I can maintain a bias to one. However, either one can become reality. So it depends on subsequent price action, and if I see a bull flag of some sort, I will certainly take this trade up, as I'm not going to wait around for dollar bulls to return, as they may not for days, weeks, or even months. There's no clarity on that. So for now, I'll see how this short-term move passes on. The important point here is not to get married to one particular count as such, because there is no clarity at this point. We had a bearish 5-wave move into here with a correction. It's continued down, and for now it's become more complex with more possibilities. So I'll have to take it one step at a time and judge it as it goes on. Now to look at other dollar pairs, cable has impulsed from the low for the preferred counts for the move up on the daily for wave 4 towards 128s, maybe well above that, 123, 132, 134 even. That's possible. Anywhere up for completion of the pattern. I mentioned yesterday the two alternate counts on this. I won't go over it now. It's in yesterday's video. This does suggest a higher move. So we may see something like that in euro dollar as well. I do like the idea of some correction into here to be bought, considering this trend line as well had 1, 2, 3, 4 price interactions from the origin, following the origin. So this should find support. Now, other dollar pairs to look at. Australian US dollar is still in a supply zone on the daily. The count I've been holding is valid beneath the November high. However, it has not impulsed down, and I'm not going to sell it until there's either a clear ending pattern, which initially failed out of the try, then an ED, both failed. So I won't sell until there's a clear ending pattern or a clear impulse down, followed by a short-term flag to enter in on. So this does not have clarity as such, even if one count is valid. The divergence, there is divergence there, but it has not kicked in yet, and it still can be passed on. New Zealand dollar as well, the move from the high was 5 waves into here, and since then it's possible to put a very small triangle for B with one further low. It's a bit ugly. The other count, however, is this would be 1, 3 up, 3 down, and now a 5-wave move up for a flat. If it enters the 7250 area on a 5th wave and reverses impulsively, that will be a sell signal. However, that has to be proven as such. There needs to be a strong reversal from the high. So in the very short term, right now, today, there is no trade on this pair. It can continue up. So I'm not sure about this one, frankly. All of the dollar pairs have the well, New Zealand, Australian, pound, euro all have the possibility to move up. They all have valid counts for further move. I don't have clear count actually for a bullish move on Australian US dollar. However, further development of it can change an understanding of this pattern for more clarity. So without clarity, I don't have a trade, and I will say I don't know because I'm not going to risk any money on a trade without any clarity at all. There's no edge, no advantage. It's better to just stand back, wait for clarity, and then take a setup with a high probability to it, which there will be one to come quite soon. US dollar as well, to look at another dollar pair that I think is heavily bearish. I won't go over this. I've been over this for days already. I'll do a longer video on the weekend. From yesterday's move saw a 3-wave advance. Now, if this does not hold the low from 2 days ago to turn higher, I can count this whole move here, this chop, as actually one leading diagonal. So looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that is valid for first wave. That would then see us, or see it rather, decline for a sharp third now. 4 and 5 to the area I've mentioned several times for a leading diagonal, or something more bearish as it could be in 3 of 3. And if we do see that subsequent bounce on that new low, that would be excellent, as it would be a heavy sell into 131 on a correction. So If this low breaks, I would go with that idea. Otherwise, it can see a further high. It would have to turn above this area though. So there's a very good trade coming on this soon enough. So that is the view on the dollar pairs. I have to wait for a little bit more clarity on this, as I see two possible valid counts, and I will take out whichever one shows the price action soon. It seems there will be another long in this, at least, on a correction for one more high at least, even if that is corrective, so I'll take it from there. What I want to cover as well is a market I rarely look at, or rarely trade anyway, and I just put a count on it yesterday. That's gold. Looking at the larger picture, let's start from the monthly. This pattern is corrective. I have not put a count on this. We had an ending diagonal into here. From that low, last year we've had a 5-wave advance. And the correction from there, well, the move down from there has been corrective. ABC, B, and 5 waves for C. Now from that low, we could be entering an aggressive middle third now. If you were long this pair already, I would suggest holding on to it, as it can see a very, very strong move now. And this ties into the questionable dollar strength. The move in, I'm not sure if I have the chart at hand. This is a very, very bearish candle in the DX. This is the dollar index. If this holds, stock's at the high and it reverses hard here, this is why I'm questioning the dollar advance for a larger 5th wave to a new high above 104. If this collapses here, we're looking at very bearish US dollar Canadian, which is preferable, and then that 4th wave high to come in cable. I won't go over all this again, but if the dollar collapses here, there is going to be a lot of movement, including in the dollar gold. Now, from the low in December 2016, it could be 1, 2, and then for wave 3, 1 and 2 could be in already. If there's a further correction, so long as it holds 1180, it could be a second wave of wave 3. But it's already done enough. Alternatively, this could be a 3-wave pattern for another low to come, as this would be A, B, and C. But for now, stick to the bullish case. I don't have a trade in this, but if you are trading gold, I would suggest trying to wait it out, because you have a very bullish opportunity here to hold on to. Looking at the count a bit closer, 5 waves into here for 1 from December. ABC correction for 2. I had to be a little bit creative with the count on the second part here. However, I feel it's valid, even if there's a 1/4 point truncation for 5. And we've had a correction into this. So that is a possibility on gold. If the market takes up this very bullish idea, then we will see a move for 3 of 3 well into towards 1300 and breaking above that, well above that, for a new high and breaking above trend resistance too. So let's see how it comes from here. Dollar yen has been disappointing from yesterday. The trade into the first day of Yellen's testimony was too quick for me to get into. We had the very shallow correction, not even to 38.2. As soon as it broke above this trend line, the following candle impulsed about 60 points within the first 60 seconds of her testimony before she even began to speak. There was no chance to get into that. Following yesterday, You could make a case for an impulse here. I don't really like it. We've broken trend support as well. It's looking quite bearish. There may be a possibility of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this whole thing is one wave, but I don't want to get I would only consider that count if this correction here, if this move here is corrective. For now, it's being sought into. So another pair to stand back from as the possibilities have expanded. Euro yen also has not taken off as it attempted to. The count is getting very ugly and very choppy. A break of here, and I would discount this as any chance of a third wave. And we may see a deeper correction as it never broke the first high here. So another pair to stand back from for now. And this is what I mean. If there isn't any clarity, if the number of possibilities expand and you're not already in a trade and you don't know where to enter, or rather where to put your stop when you enter, and you don't have the parameters in place, I'm not going to take that trade. There's enough clarity that comes into the market, such as in what's still my favorite pair, Aussie-New Zealand. 8 EMA support has moved up to about 106.3, which would work for a fourth wave, a very small fourth wave of this advance. Could also be something more bullish. I've mentioned other levels, 106 even, 105.7. I don't expect anywhere below there. I would suspect we see a move to 108 before we see 105x again, which we may never see again, not in the short term. The overall picture on this remains very, very bullish. I don't see a single, I don't have a single doubt about this one at the moment. Euro New Zealand is still within the bear flag and is starting to take off here. This is a low risk trade as we have an area to work with now. And the pound pairs, pound Canadian dollar is still within the channel, still bullish. I don't have a trade on this until it comes beneath what I marked as W here. Currently, the reason why there's no trade out of this corrective pattern is because this advance here was not 5 waves. It was just 1, 2, 3, followed by a correction and another 3 up. So until I see a break of this, I don't have a trade. This whole pattern here could be we could see something for B, followed by another decline for C before reversing. So if that happens, there will be a trade. Otherwise, if it does take off from here, I just have to wait on it and get into a bull flag once it breaks this long resistance, if it does that. In pound New Zealand, which I've also been waiting for from the high, we do have enough now to count it as valid. If there is a strong break out of resistance here with a small bull flag, it will be possible to take. I would still rather see one more low with divergence, but depends how it develops from here. We do have enough in place now for 5 ways down for C. Could also shift it a little for one more low. There's also a small engulfing candle on the 4 hour, so I'll see how that develops into today. That's it. So I take it as it comes. The whole point of this video is just to clarify, mainly for myself, that with multiple patterns like this, once multiple patterns develop and the number of possibilities expand, there is a reason to step back, also with a clear change of trend here in the short term. So if we do get a buy flag, I'll buy into that. The important point is that either of these patterns can become dominant. So whichever starts to take precedence, I will swing with that. The only point here is to try to make money off of a trade with the lowest risk, one that has the highest probability. So that is the only goal at the moment, not to have a mental bias as such for one or the other. Because the up move in this to a new high for a larger three-wave pattern to tie in with Cable's larger three-wave idea for 4, and maybe even something more, a larger correction in the Australian-New Zealand pairs, all of that's possible. And something more bearish in the DX. With further developments, new ideas will also come into these pairs, so we'll see how it goes. And with the gold one, that will be interesting to see if it can actually power through, or if there's a deeper correction to come with the 5 waves. Okay, have a good day, good luck with everything.